Hello, welcome back to Brand Sushi Live Noding. In this episode, I'm gonna talk about one of nodes that's dealing with the UV inside Spreadchalk add-on. So let's just get started. So if you have Spreadchalk add-on and you quickly search for UV, you have a bunch of them that's dealing with actual texture UV. Not the first one, but this set UV, fine UV, sample UV, and UV textures. UV textures is the oldest one. What we like to use today is this fine UV. Okay, so what does this do? Let's see. Fine UV. The full name is Fine UV Coordinates on Surface, and it has this interesting point on UV and point on mesh. So let's use cube for simplicity. When you create a cube, there's an options to generate UV. So by doing that, you will have a UV map for texturing. So that's a good thing. And if you jump into the UV image editor, select with object selected, hit tab, you can see the UV in the shape of the cross. Okay, so as you know, this is normally a 3D object, and the UV is it's a flat thing. So let's grab our object and use the viewer draw, and there's these two things that seems like a pair, right? Vertices and polygon. We plug it in, and do we get anything? Let's check our outliner. Okay, we actually have something cool. We have this something, an object like a cross resembling our UV. So again, this is 3D objects, this is a flat object, and there is this point on UV and point on mesh. So it's pretty clear what it's doing, right? It's kind of similar to UV textures. So if you're using the object mode and you have the UV, oh, let's see, this one is probably slightly different. This is an older one that I used to use. Interesting. This apparently need objects in. Get selection, object goes in there, we can see the UV. Okay, we have bigger cross, but this one is kind of normalized between 0 and 1 inside the grid, so that's gonna be useful. So let's see what it does. So we can always back it out, so it's become real objects, but I want to keep it like this, and I just keep the outline so we can kind of tell. Let's create an empty. Put the empty inside this UV, sort of. So this empty, of course, need to be 0 out in the Z, and I'm gonna lock it. So if we kind of travel around this cross, we are always on top of the UV. Okay, so let's bring that cross inside. Objects in, get selection, we have the matrix out. Oops, matrix out. Matrix is just like a transform information, just in case you're afraid of this blue color, and you can separate into location, scale, rotation, angle. Location goes in here. Now what we have, point on mesh. Let's check using stethoscope with the animation playing. Option A, I'm gonna move around this guy, and you can see there's a number that's changing. If I go outside, it's kind of not good, but we need to keep it inside. inside the UV. Between 0 and 1, it's inside the UV. That's what matters. So it's not very clear what is what it is actually doing. So let's use a viewer draw. Let's use icosphere, or actually just use Suzanne. Suzanne is pretty heavy, but it's okay. Let's make Suzanne smaller. Scale. Turn off the points. Now we have Suzanne. Point on mesh. Plug it into the matrix. So you can see what is Suzanne doing really. Let's stop this. We have our cube. Let's zero out the cube. This cube, I will make it like a wire. Now, playback. Excuse me. So seems like sorry, Suzanne is traveling across the face, one face after the other of the cube. So that means this point in 2D on the UV, that's where the position of the empty is currently, is being translated into 3D. This is actually really cool. So we have a way to transfer 2D into 3D. So this is like let's save this really quick. Save it again. Let's see if we kind of subdivide this guy until it's looking like Earth. This should subdivide the UV as well. So I believe it might. This thing might not respect it. If I'm not wrong, this guy also kind of expecting triangulated objects in order to work 100%. So maybe you want to do that. Apply subdivision, triangle. Now we have this subdivided UV. You probably don't want subdivided, but it's okay. So now you can see this is the Earth. This is the flat Earth. This is a 3D Earth. So now we can kind of traverse down the Earth like that. You can have a multiple empty and just bring all of this empty into spectral. A good idea is to group them and then get the group, get selection. Now we have all 4 points. You see the points are on top of the sphere always. You can move them around. See, I'll maybe before I close this down, I'm gonna turn on this auto key and just do kind of like a motion capture. So I'm gonna keep going a little bit. Okay, done. Select another one. Real-time motion capture of empty on top of UV. One more. Oh, actually 2 more. And the UV information is translated into 3D on the surface. So point on UV and point on surface. It's very soft image actually, or Houdini in that matter, or Maya. Maya also have this. Now we have some crazy monkey running on top of surface. Yeah. So I think that's pretty much it. If you move around this guy, of course, it doesn't follow it unless you you multiply the matrix of this guy with the monkey. I believe that's with the empty or something. Let's see. Objects in, get selection. This is the matrices. Multiply with the monkey. Or maybe I'm further. Yeah, now it's correct. So there's a motion capture happening on the 3D planet Earth. Oh, I can scale it? No, I cannot scale it. It seems to be correct. Okay, so there you go. That's a kind of quick look on this find UV coordinates on surface node. But you can see there's also set UV and there is also sample UV. These two can have their own video tutorial. So maybe tomorrow or maybe next video. Set UV, you can guess it's kind of painting on UV. Sample UV, looking at an object and the texture and get that color. Okay, so that's really powerful. Hopefully this is useful. Let me know what you think and I'll see you next time. Thank you.